So here we are. It's been about 2.5, maybe 3 hours of sanding on both sides of the head. You can see there's quite a bit of reflection coming off of that. And this is just the primer. It hasn't been painted yet, but trying to get a really smooth surface to paint it and then chrome it later. What I wanted to show was how I connect the two halves together. So here you can see the back also sanded, again, 800 and 2000 grit sandpapers, 800 to knock it down a little bit, and then 2000 to really buff it out. I want to show you how these connect, because I finally got around to doing that. So on the front of the head, I've put in this little tab. You can see here I cut a little slit, actually just kind of poked it with a Dremel a little bit, and then actually a drill, a real tiny drill, went in there and just kind of made this little tiny slit. This is actually a picture hanger that I cut the triangular end off of, so it's just this long piece and then this little tab, and put that through there in the right spot so that it hooks into the back, and then that will, let's see if I can get a good view on that, so that will hold that to keep it from going forward. You have to adjust it based on that. And this is one way to do it. If you're wondering why I didn't put it right at the top, that would be, that would make a lot of sense, but I actually needed as much vertical room here as I could. I actually had to Dremel out some of this to make sure that my head would fit in there, so I wanted to put it off to the side. I think it would have worked in the middle. What I might also do is put another one on the other side. So, but anyway, that's how the top goes. Now the bottom actually has these little holes for the neck bolts. So the neck bolts are, these little round pieces, and what I used on the back this is actually a drywall anchor. They have a 4-pack of these at Home Depot or Lowe's, probably for $2 or less. You only need 2 of them, but 4 gives you a couple to practice with. So drill a little hole in the neck bolt, and cut off the screw about halfway. It's about a 2-inch screw maybe. Cut it off, and then you can kind of run both ends into it, into the anchor and then the neck bolt. I used some Zap-A-Gap or super glue or some, whatever your plastic epoxy of choice is, or super glue or E5000 or whatever you want, to really glue those together to really hold it in there. Then I kind of placed it, figured out where the hole needs to be, and did that. And so I labeled it so I know which side they go on. But basically after you do that, you can put it through there, and then you put the head together, drill the holes, just used a big screw, and then what you can see here is you just screw this on in, and those nice big drywall anchor threads make it really easy to thread through, so you don't need a bolt or anything, and it just tightens down like that. So it's only a few turns to tighten it down. Again, this is a Gordon Tarpley recommendation, and that makes it really easy. I sanded down the ends and some of the threads because it was still cutting into this. It seems like it's, you kind of do what works. There you go. Kind of tightens it up, and then that holds the head together. So between that little tab at the top and then the neck bolts at the bottom, it's held pretty well. There's a little bit of a gap there, but it's pretty invisible, or not too visible. So next up will be painting it black. Should be exciting. I've rinsed it off and need to let it dry completely before I put a top coat on it. A few little imperfections. Don't really have time to Bondo those out, but it should be good. Should be good. But that's one way. That's how I'm going to be connecting the head. I have been able to get this on by myself, but that's without these eyes in there. So probably with the eyes in it, that'll be much harder. So yeah, there you go.